Good morning. The last video that I shared on YouTube was about one-pointed meditation. It's just a very simple meditation practice that I do that I wanted to share. I hope somebody got something out of it. I'm gonna do another meditation video. This one is about applying imagination to meditation. And following your imagination in a structured way. I wasn't really expecting this to happen this morning, but it did, and I think I'd like to keep repeating it. It seemed fruitful. So, and I don't have a name for this yet. Maybe by the time I title this, I'll have a name. Here's what you do. It's similar to one-pointed meditation in that it's nice to have a timer set so that you have an idea of how long you're going to do this. But in choosing, you want to choose a point to look at, but make that point an object. So find an object of interest to you. I did this in my room, so I was looking around today, and I have this opalescent wine glass that was given to me as a gift, and I use it for decoration. And it caught my eye this morning, so I decided to look at it for 5 minutes. I had a 5-minute timer, but over the course of those 5 minutes, what my brain did, or what I felt led to for some reason, was to kind of copy and paste that object in a three-dimensional way. So I, in my mind's eye or imagination, copied it and then not rotated, but moved that copy over to my right. So now there was the original in front of me, and then there's a copy and pasted version to my right, and I picture a radius between me and the object and establish that radius. My imagination you can almost picture like a string between you and that object, and that is your radius, and then you take a copy and move it to your right. Now there are two, one at 12 o'clock, one at 3 o'clock. Then you can copy that one, rotate it behind you. Now there's another of that object at 6 o'clock. And then one more copy at your left, or 9 o'clock. And so then in my mind, in my imagination, I'm looking at the real glass, wine glass, but I am also aware of 3 more glasses around me, surrounding me, and I am then able to ask my imagination what happens next. Okay, and I think that's a really important thing for you to be able to do, is to just ask yourself what happens next, and let the first thing that comes to mind happen, and then be willing to adjust from there. So here's what happened in my mind after that. Then I had the desire for those glasses to be full, so I imagined rain pouring down and filling the glasses, but concentrated, so it wasn't rain everywhere. It was just I guess streams or fountains coming down from the sky and filling those glasses, and continuing, so they were full and overflowing. Then I pictured them for some reason rotating around me. So for example, if I was going to keep this image with me throughout my day, I would imagine them I would imagine these glasses just kind of spinning around me. And then eventually I imagined in the what happens next kind of way, I imagined a structure starting from below me and coming out almost like four like golden pillars that then with little tabletops holding these glasses, and so they are like this structure. They're this like rotating table holding the glasses. And then my mind was like, well, what if people like run into these glasses like throughout my day? Like that's not pleasant. And so then I imagined that the glasses kind of had a some kind of mechanism to dodge people. So whatever people's boundaries were, that the cups would be guided around them as they were spinning around me, but that they would also create um, they would create an invitingness that like if somebody wanted to drink from that glass, that they could, that it would be available to them, but otherwise that it wouldn't be forced upon them. This is all the stuff that my mind unraveled about the wine glass in about 5 minutes, a little over. I kept going after the timer went off. But a point I wanted to make about this, and the new thing that was exciting to me, I'll do it in that order. The point I wanted to make is sometimes in my meditation I will try to create an imaginative field around me that I then take with me throughout the day, and it signifies a mentality that I'd like to have. For example, you could just surround yourself with water, just like a bubble of water. You could choose the temperature of that water. You could choose how still or turbulent that water is. Is it fresh water? Is it salt water? Is it dyed with color? Blah blah blah. You can ask yourself all kinds of questions when you're engaged with the mind's eye. But then you could ask yourself, how does that affect my interactions today? So it's like maybe harsh words are said to you later that day. Well, if they are filtered through this water, what happens to them? Does that cool down the words before they get to you? Does that soften your words before they reach someone else because of this field of water around you? I hope this makes sense. I don't There's not a need to know whether this like is literally changing anything around you, but in one way or another, what you do imagine and visualize affects at least you in a subconscious way. Our subconscious minds operate in a very like symbol heavy type of way. I think our subconscious minds react more to imagery than they do to words. And so if you can set up an image around you and decide what that image means for yourself, you can really set your own tone for how you interact with the world. So it's a way to speak to yourself in a deep, meaningful way. And that may or may not actually affect the way that other people interact with you as well, even if that just means you are subtly changed, which means you are more or less inviting to certain people in certain ways, or whether that like is actually felt on some subtle etheric level. It's not for me, that's not too unlogical, to be honest. So that's why I was interested in this this exercise this morning. because I believe very much in that visual power. So to sum up the new meditation, set a timer, choose an object to stay focused on, to stay visually focused on during that time. Draw a line from you to that object. Be very aware of that distance, however far it is. Use that line as a radius and copy and paste that object into some kind of circle around you. And then let your imagination apply subtle changes to those objects around you, just whatever comes to mind. This might not be super easy if you've never done meditation work before, but it's something you could keep trying. I mean, it really is a practice. If you are familiar with like structured imagination and you've practiced that a lot, this will be it should be a pretty easy exercise. It's no worries if it's difficult or easy or just not fun. It might be fun to you, it might not be fun to somebody else, but it's at least something to try and just see where your mind takes you. I, for one, am excited about where this image might lead my day and like whether I use it again. I for sure will use the technique again, I think. So, all right, thanks for listening. This video is already almost 12 minutes, which I was not expecting, but anyways, I hope it's useful to you in some way, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Talk to you later.